Hello, my name is Rachel Smith, and in this presentation I'm going to be talking about cooperative reference, specifically interlibrary loans. In this presentation I will go over a few relevant vocabulary terms. I will also talk about my time observing the reference desk at a public library, which will be called Library X throughout the presentation. Then I will talk about the cataloging system that Library X shared with the other member libraries of its consortium. I will then talk about how Library X used their shared catalog to borrow and lend library materials through interlibrary loans. Here are the definitions of a few terms that will be used. A consortium is a group of libraries who partner to coordinate activities, share resources, and combine expertise. A shared library system lowers the overall technology costs by eliminating the need for interoperability between disparate local library systems. Interlibrary loan is the process of sharing materials among and between libraries. Interlibrary loan extends the range of material available to users beyond their home library's collection. Over the course of 2 days, I spent 8 hours observing the reference desk at Library X. This library is a mid-sized public library with 17 total librarians and support staff in a suburban area of about 60,000 total residents, 92% of which are white, and the majority are working class. Library X belongs to a consortium of other suburban public libraries in the area. This includes 25 libraries across 3 counties. This consortium serves about 400,000 patrons and provides 2 million items to these patrons through their shared catalog. During my observation of Library X, I spent time with 4 librarians who had 1 to 2 hour shifts helping patrons at the information desk. These librarians will be referred to as Librarian L, Librarian H, Librarian D, and Librarian K. Librarian L is also the children's librarian, which is a full-time position. Librarian H is also Library X's part-time archivist. Librarian D is a formerly retired current part-time reference librarian. Librarian K is one of the few full-time reference librarians at Library X. While I was sitting at the reference desk, I observed that much of their time was comprised of helping patrons use the library's computers and printing directions or tax forms. However, about half their time was dealing with patrons looking for physical materials like music CDs and books, either at Library X or locating the materials through interlibrary loan. Library X's consortium provides all member libraries with the Circe Dynex Symphony Shared Database. From Circe, Library X's librarians can access circulation, acquisitions, user information, cataloging, and interlibrary loan tools. While observing Library X's reference desk, I watched as the reference librarians used the Circe system, most often to search the shared catalog for items for patrons. When the item was located at Library X, the librarian showed the patron where the item was located. When the item was not held locally, the Circe database showed the librarian which other libraries in the consortium held the item and allowed the librarian to place a hold on it, allowing the item to be delivered directly to Library X. I watched as Librarian H found a book on beeswax crafts held in Library X for a patron. After talking with the patron about exactly what she was looking for, Librarian H placed an interlibrary loan request for a few other books on the topic. Through the consortium's discount negotiations, patrons of all member libraries may check out music, magazines, and Kindle ebooks digitally through the library's website. Having these items digitally is great for patrons, but it has led to extensive weeding of the library's physical collection. Librarian K told me that their music CD collection is the smallest it's ever been, and the wait list for popular titles like James Patterson's have dwindled from approximately 50 when a new book came out to only about 5 now. As we've already reviewed, interlibrary loan is the process of sharing materials between libraries. There are 2 different types of interlibrary loans that Library X participates in: lending and borrowing with the libraries in the consortium, and with libraries across the state, usually the major universities, using MELCAT, the catalog for Michigan's e-library. While I was observing the reference desk, a patron came in to see if Library X had any CDs for a particular heavy metal band. As Librarian L checked Circe, She talked with the patron about his interest in the band, very subtly determining whether the man was just starting to listen to this band or if he only wanted the newest album. None of the member libraries had the CDs the patron was looking for, so Librarian L immediately went to Melcat to search for the CDs. She found that there were some CDs for that band available for borrowing. However, the band's newest album was not available to be lent. It was only available at its home library. The patron ended up having Librarian L request multiple CDs that were available and left satisfied. Though there have been some drawbacks to the growth of interlibrary loans, such as dwindling physical collections, the benefits to patrons' accessibility and satisfaction cannot be discounted. The ultimate goal of public libraries has always been to provide access to information to the community, and interlibrary loan helps facilitate this goal. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you found the topic as interesting and informative as I did.